This podcast is brought to you by Convo Cloth, the official clothing apparel of the NBC podcast. For the latest apparel, please go to www.nothingButConvos.com. Now, let's get into the latest episode of the NBC podcast with your boy, S. McCann. What's good, people? It's the NBC podcast with your boy, S. McCann. And this is episode 50, Eagles Week 2 review. Yes, sir. And in this week, we did get the dub, and that's all that counts. The offense struggled a little bit, but we adjusted, ran that ball, and that boy, DeAndre Swift, was killing the Vikings. Oh my goodness. So in this pod, I break down the standout players, what happened to make us adjust to run the ball, and then next week, our opponent on Monday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So sit back and relax. Let's get it. Episode 50. We at 50. Yes, sir. Eagles Week 2 review of the 2023 season. It was ugly against the Vikings. Very ugly. But one thing that we can say that we did do was adorn the game. You have to make those in-game adjustments. And if they're going to start playing, dropping 7, dropping 8 men, what you do against that? Adjust and run the ball, which we did effectively. DeAndre Swift was killing them. But let's go to the team stats. Total team yards was 430. 171 passing yards, 259 rushing yards. 259 rushing yards. 5.7 yards a carry. 24 first downs. We punted the ball 4 times, and that was during the beginning of the game when we tried to figure out, come on, man, what are they doing? They doing the same thing that the Patriots did last week. Dropping 7, dropping 6, dropping 8. Come on. You can't pass against that. I don't care who you are. You can dip and dunk and do all of those things, and you might can do some screens against that, get the ball out fast, but those deep shots, you can't do those deep shots against a defense like that. Now, what you can do is start running the ball. And we found out that we have a dynamic back that if you give him a crease, he can make something happen. And that's something we never had or didn't have since Shady McCoy. Shady McCoy will make something happen. As long as he get through that first line of defense, get a little crack in the line, bang, he can make something happen because he had good feet and he had that wiggle. And DeAndre Swift, oh my goodness. The things that he was doing. 28 carries. The most in his career, 175 yards. The most in his career, 6.2 yards a carry. 1 touchdown. Killing him. And he can catch out the backfield. That's what he's really known for. But the Eagles had to depend on him because one of our backs was out, Gainwell. And so Gainwell was out. You had to lean on him a little bit more. Boston Scott, he was killing them. 5 carries, 40 yards, 8 yards a carry. Then he got hurt with a concussion. And that hurt us right there because we was mixing them up. They couldn't even stop it. And we was running that inside zone, killing them with the inside zone. So when you look at it, 175 yards. If you can't stop something, you keep on doing it. Don't try to force the pass, because what's going to happen is the run is going to set up the pass, which it did. Devontae Smith had 4 receptions, 131 yards, 32 yards of reception, 1 touchdown. That's it. Killing them. And then you seen Jalen Hurts get his mojo back. Dallas Goedert was opening up a little bit. He had 6 receptions, 22 yards. It wasn't much, but that's what they was giving us. So to me, if a team is going to play like that, make sure that you can move the ball. You can get 3 yards, 4 yards against that with the pass. But if you getting 6 yards a carry, and then Boston Scott was getting 8 yards a carry, that's something that you can't give up on. And now teams are going to go into games. Yeah, it's going to be a threat of the pass, but now they got to think that, what are we going to stop? Are we going to stop the run, or are we going to stop the pass? Because if they got 8, dropping 7, just run the ball. It's simple. It is simple. And I know a lot of Philly Eagles fans, they got spoiled with what happened last year with the passing yards, passing touchdowns, and all of that. Now teams are scheming that up, taking A.J. Brown away, trying to take Devontae Smith away, trying to take Dallas Goedert away. So they're taking away the pass. But if your team is multi-dimensional, that means that you can never be stopped. And that's what they all have been talking about. What is our team identity? What will be our identity this year? Last year, it was the pass that set up the run. Now, this year, it might be different. It might be the run to set up the pass. And now you got teams trying to scheme against the Eagles. What are they going to do this week? What are they going to do? You don't know. But one thing they know that they can do well is pass the ball, because they did it last year, and it's the same people that's on the team. They know they can do that well. So if a team takes that away, let's run the ball. And if a team tries to take the run away, put 8 in the box, they know they're going to get smoked, because you can't stick these receivers one-on-one. You know that. And so it's all about picking your poison for the opposing team. And I think that what they set up last week, the league is on notice. And if you can stop the run in the pass, that's a hats off to you, and you might win that game. But if you can't, it's going to be a long night. So defensive wise, we got shredded. Kirk Cousins, 31 of 44, 364 yards, 4 touchdowns. Our passing defense was terrible, but our rushing defense shut them down. Madison only had 8 carries, 28 yards, 3.5 yards a carry. They couldn't run the ball, or they don't like to run the ball. That might be it, but it still played into our hands. We couldn't stop the pass because Bradbury was out with a concussion. Our safety, starting safety, was out. Reed Blankenship was out with a rib injury. They come back this week. Let's see what we do against the Bucs. But last week, we had a new player out there playing opposite of Slay. Slay was getting torched too. But that's what's going to happen. You playing against the best receiver in the league, and how the Vikings set Justin Jefferson up for success. They moving him all around. He playing tight end. He playing slot. He playing the outside. He's moving. He's doing all types of stuff. He's the motion receiver. Then he's on the move. It's hard to stick a receiver when they on the move and then cutting through defenses and all of that stuff. It's hard. But yeah, If we did that with one of our receivers, we did that with Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown. Of course, A.J. Brown will have 11 receptions, 159 yards. If you moving them all around, he's coming out the backfield, catching out the back. It's crazy how they feature him, which, yeah, if you're going to say, oh, he's the best, but is he lining up in one spot? No. He's moving all the way around, which they can do that. And their coach is a offensive-minded coach, and they want their best player to get the ball, which is fine. But the other ones, we was getting cooked. Jordan Addison, he cooked, smoked them. And it's cool. And that was his first time starting. Josh Jobe, that's his first time starting. And that's what's going to happen. But you got to get thrown in the fire. And now you know what your leverages are, how fast certain people are. You're not just coming in the game off the bench. He had time to prepare for the game. And Jordan Addison is a rookie, so it's not like he knew or felt that speed before. But that was a good catch, and the ball was placed very well where he can catch it. And I think Josh Jobe just misplaced the ball. Our safeties can't cover tight ends. We were getting smoked. We cannot stick the tight ends with the safety. But, again, that's okay. It's the second game of the season. You make adjustments. Maybe we'll make a trade for a safety or a nickel corner. But I think we got that nickel figured out for this week, and that's later in the pod. Pressure on the quarterback was great at times, and then it wasn't great at times. Jordan Davis had a sack. Josh Sweat had a strip sack. Fletcher Cox picked that thing up. We were at it. We were up in the game, but like I said, the misassignments and new starters didn't know where to be at certain times, which is fine because we are getting our starters back on D, which I'm glad about. But that Avonte Maddox injury that hurt right there. That injury really hurt where now he tore his pec and he's out for the year, but next man up. And like I said, I was going to talk about it. Us going against the Bucs, Bradbury is playing in the slot, nickel, whatever you want to call it, being that nickel cornerback. Jake Elliott hit a 61-yarder, smoking him. He had 10 points. 10 points. That's what I'm talking about. You need that offense. If you get down there, score some type of points. When you're scoring points in the league, that's all it's about. And in these past two games, the defense gave us a score, the first game of the season. But other than that, our team throughout the first two games, we're scoring 29.5 points a game. And we're not playing our best. And so looking at the season, and then I don't want to look at the season, looking at the next game against the Bucs. Will the Bucs come out and play the same defense that the Vikings and the Patriots played? They have a good run defense, but can they stop the run if you continue to run on them? What I want to see during this game, I want to see the Eagles establish the run first to see how will they adjust. Because if you establish the run first, then it's going to set up the play action. It's going to set up all that crazy exotic stuff that they want to do that will set that up. We will see. We don't know what will happen, how the coaching staff will call plays. I know the defense will be playing a little bit better because you get 2 starters back. Our defensive line creating pressure. Jordan Davis, Carter, Cox, Hassan didn't get off yet. So I think it's going to be a big game for Hassan. I think it's going to be a big game for A.J. Brown as well, because they're going to do some things to get him open and get him the ball early. But I do think that DeAndre Swift will have over 100 yards again this week. And I got my boys winning on the road. But any given Sunday, anything can happen. Y'all know I go with my boys. But, yeah, I have them winning 27-17. So, with that, people, it's a wrap. 1. So, that was episode 50, Eagles Week 2 review. And in that week, it looked sloppy, but we figured out that we have a star at running back, and his name is DeAndre Swift. If they don't use this guy, I don't know what's going to happen during the year. Can he stay healthy? Can he do his thing? But you have another weapon that teams have to combat for. They have to have a plan to shut him down. Can they do it? Then that's going to open the pass. But we'll see. And then this week, Monday Night Football against the Bucs. They're 2-0. We'll see what happens. But with that, people, stay safe, give respect, and show love. 1. Make sure you go listen to all old and new NBC podcast episodes on all podcasting platforms. And please go to www.nothingbutconvos.com for the latest apparel.